everyone, and welcome to this new CATIA Design Talk, the format in which our experts edit, design, and visualize their projects in CATIA. As you know, for CATIA, each year means a brand new release. And this year is no exception, as the CATIA R&D design team is unveiling the new release of its portfolio for 2025. And this is why today I welcome special members of this team in a very nice place, the playground of Dassault Systèmes campus. So I welcome today Xavier Melconian, Head of CATIA R&D for Design and Styling, and the portfolio directors François Daudet and Laurent Garza, and as well Stéphane Ruiz, who will be present remotely later. Hello, Alan. Hello, Alan. Thank you very much for joining us today. Before to start, I would like to remind viewers that they can reach out to us by asking their questions in the chat, as we'll take some time at the end of this session to answer them. So, the 3D Experience R 2025 X is now released since November 17, 2024. Xavier, what this release means for design studios?
And again, it's an important release for us, but it's part of a plan that we initiated 5 years ago to imagine what will be the studio of the future, to imagine, create and experience sustainable and delightful products. And we did that for 3 elements. First of all, is to take in consideration how to collaborate together and to imagine and innovate together. The second thing is how to make the job of the designer on a daily basis, to imagine, create, and experience. And third, it's about how to address the new challenges of the consumer with a new generation of applications with generative AI. Okay, so to do so, we wanted to address the different trends in the studio, to be creative, to innovate, but also to reach high level of design quality and compliancy, but also to take fast and accurate decisions, but also to address now new coming trends like sustainable by design, to make your product much more sustainable, and also to think about the consumer experience, so to switch to the experience design thinking and not just the product design. And for that, we did work on the 3 elements that I was mentioning. Starting by how to innovate together. For that, we have a wonderful platform, the 3D Experience platform, which has reached a very high level of maturity with the 25X release, to imagine, create, and experience all together. Okay, it starts to imagine together, and we have applications like stream communities with conversation, video conference, but also creative portfolio board, a new application to do collaborative whiteboarding, to brainstorm all together, even if you're in different locations and facilities. But then it's about creating it together or to co-create together. And for that, we have on the 3D Experience platform, the virtual twin, where everybody can connect to the virtual twin to bring his talent. You can be a creative designer, a color and trim designer, a studio engineer, a class A modeler, or decision makers. And you can work seamlessly all together to co-create on the virtual twin. And third, to experience together on the 3D Experience platform at any time of the project and the evolution of your virtual twin. You can meet all together around the virtual twin to visualize it, to experience it on screen, on touch screen, or virtual reality, to check and decide on the different experiences that you wanted to imagine. So the platform is the first element of this new studio of the future. The second element is the daily job of the design studio, is how to imagine, create, and experience in a unified workflow environment. And this is where our 3 disciplines are mandatory. And for that, we have created the fundamental pillars and applications with creative design experience to give 3D accessible to the creative designers, ISM design experience to give the next level of productivity and competitiveness to do 3D modeling from CAS to CAS, and also with product perception experience to present, brainstorm, and make decisions on the virtual twin. And this is what the team will present today.
Okay, so this looks very promising for the design studios. And you mentioned an interesting benefit, which is the unified design workflow, starting by creative design. So François, you are director of this part of the portfolio. Can you tell us more about it?
Sure, Alan. So what is important to understand is that our mission is to help our community of users to transition from product design to experience design thinking, like Xavier said earlier. First, by delivering to our community users the proper tools to help them to innovate during their creative design process by providing the innovative technologies, mixing curves and surface together to go further and faster into their design exploration. Second is to turn to the human experience approach, thanks to the virtual human, to start to evaluate the consumer experience of the product our designers are creating. And third is to take a full benefit as well of the new approach of design by algorithm, which is very powerful for design exploration and automation. So for this release, we are pushing a lot on the facility we offer to our creative designers to express their ideas, to explore their ideas in a very intuitive way, by new technologies, new user experience, to go faster, to be more precise, so to reach the proper design according to what they want to achieve. But also to accelerate their conceptual modeling phase with new capabilities to be more precise and more productive in the end. And this year, the key feature from our portfolio that we want to expose is the ability now that we offer to our users, the capability to enter into the mixed reality world, the virtual reality, but also the mixed reality. So it means to take benefit of the virtual and physical environment to better design their product, having visual reference, real visual reference during their creative design process, to measure the impact of their design according to the perception, the dimensions of their designs, so to be more productive, more precise. As you know, we are also serving our community of users with our legacy application, Imagine and Shape, which is well deployed on the market. And we are improving this application based on customers in production's requirements. One other pillar of our portfolio is to, as I mentioned, to turn from the product design to the experience design, taking benefits of the virtual human. It is very important for our creative designers to take benefit of this representation of virtual human, taking also leveraging the virtual AI capabilities to immerse into the environment, incarnating the human to evaluate the consumer experience of the product. In that particular example, it's a way to manipulate objects from the environment and evaluate the accessibility, the usage of the product from the user standpoint. One important pillar for us, a strategic one, is to take benefit of the visual scripting approach, which is parametric design, based on the visual scripting approach, to explore variants of design very quickly in a very efficient way, to create new type of surfaces based on inputs, like in this example. Another key highlight of this release in a visual scripting application is also the ability to create some animations, which means to produce some video sequences based on the parameters and the multiple variants that the designer is producing to better communicate, better share the design ideas within his ecosystem. Thanks to visual scripting approach, it's very fast and productive to reach this type of media to better, in fact, assess the quality of the design. So here we have an example in the lighting domain, which is a new domain we want to explore with our portfolio.
Okay, so a lot of great improvements for creative design and human experience.
Absolutely.
And what about the next step of the workflow, which is surface refinement? So,
well, surface refinement, Alan, you know, it's a matter of expertise mostly. So in surface refinement, we of course embed a reverse engineering and cast and class modeling. For reverse engineering, our motto has always been to really push productivity, favor semi-automation, and quality of the result, predictable quality for the result. So I consider 25X Golden Release as a kind of achievement milestone because we are finishing now really all the manual workflow we wanted to address. We finished with this release the mechanical workflow, knowing the freeform one and the surface network one were already finished in previous releases. And well, I think now we have all the bricks to go further in automation in further releases. So I hope all the prerequisites to do the workflow manually are there with the right quality and the right speed. Okay. So for reverse engineering, it's going to be very interesting in the coming years. but you have the mature solution right now on 25X golden release. For Class A modeling and CAS modelers with ICM design experience, we've been delivering the new generation of application able to mix all mathematics, modeling approaches by innovation ways and old ones, and associativity of the model. And this release, we are really focusing on the accessibility of commands to be more productive. So we are preparing kind of new UI for the next FD. So we have been working a lot of putting access easier for the user. We've been, of course, improving the key features such as the visual clipping or the fillet, which is very powerful. And last but not least, we are delivering factor 3 for performances against last release. So it's much better to get real-time changes. And well, I hope our user will like it, and we'll go further with those new tools for innovation in modeling that they do traditionally the same way since a lot of years, and we hope they will like it.
Okay, so great new capabilities for reverse engineers, Class A modelers, and surface modelers as well.
Exactly, and great performances also.
And now concerning VPSR product experience with Stefan Ritz, I think it is a pretty rich release for this discipline. So Stefan, what are you bringing to our users?
So welcome to our V+R product experience, what's new in the R 2025X Golden Release. So in our discipline, we take care on collaboration and decision-making inside design and engineering. And to do this, we offer visualization on the consumer's view on the product, we provide decision-making tools on the product experience and comfort, and we help our users to immerse themselves with the product and its environment with mixed reality solutions. And for the 25X, I'm very happy also to introduce new validation capabilities inside our visualization portfolio. So let's directly go to visualization and the application CATIA Live Rendering, which is providing high-quality visualization directly on the 3D design and CAD data for collaboration purposes. This application is majorly improved with a new render mode, which is available across the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. This render mode is building a bridge between the real-time rasterizer that you can see here on the left, with it actually having a good performance, but sometimes might be limited in terms of all visual aspects, compared to the stellar physical correct render mode here on the right, which is having a very, very correct rendering, but sometimes it's costly and might be also slow. So the stellar interactive render mode is actually giving you the best of both worlds and builds a bridge by enabling GI in an interactive way. Let's take a look on an example. So here you see the rasterizer on top and stellar interactive below, and it shows directly that lamps and lights here from the land tunnel that are now seen are displayed in the interactive stellar mode. You can not just display the light, you can also adjust them, as you can see here with the light color, and this is displayed directly on your design data. And you can keep going now. Interplaying with the light, you can also changing the color of your material, for instance. And you see the reflections are adjusted directly. And to show you that we are still in ray tracing, I show you also the reflections of the reflections here in the mirror. Live rendering is also improved with a new streamlined ambience workflow. So you can now completely work with PLM ambiences in CATIA Live Rendering, also including light painting, as you can see here in the video example. And all of this GPU accelerated. The application is improved in many more ways, but I will accelerate a little bit here because I want to come to the next chapter, and this is the new capabilities for validation in our portfolio. For this, we have now a new application available called CATIA Validation Rendering. It's bringing you a capability to validate and simulate with a physical accurate render pipeline from the input to the output. This is enabling a lot of new use cases, as you can see here in some of the examples on screen. How do we do this? We take our physical accurate rendering, our stellar precise rendering, and care about the parameters for the rendering. For materials, for instance, we have accurate display materials. For ambiences, we have physical accurate light intensities. Lighting can be also rendered now with analytical passes, or we can use measured supplier data. And cameras take in consideration the eye physiology, the perception of the eye, and precise outputs. So far for the theory. Let's jump into an example. So you see here our CAD data, a bike. You can apply the measured materials. You can also add an environment with physical lighting conditions. And This might be now interesting, but it gets more interesting when you switch at night, because then you see that you directly want to immediately switch on the light of the bike. And we can do this by using measured supplier data that we apply on the lamp of the bike. We can switch it on, and in reality, you would not perceive at night in this situation a lamp like this. You would also see a certain glow because of your eye physiology. This we can also switch on. And the lamp itself is very interesting, and analytics on there are giving you a lot of good results already. But what you want to do on top is you want to see also the lighting from all the environment on your design model maybe. This can be also integrated here by switching the environment again. And all of this can be done interactively by using distributed live rendering, or if it's too slow, you can accelerate with distributed live rendering, movie production, for instance. Our engineering capabilities built in here are not ending just by seeing a design model and judging a design model. You can also run analytics here with a luminance pass, which gives you the capability for quantitative analysis. And this enables engineers not just to go into a view and review of the lamp itself, but also of its functions. For this, we change perspective, and what we see in here is actually the light fall off of a car on a street. And with the analytic luminance passes, you can analyze this light fall off now in terms of well-lit areas and not well-lit areas. So many new capabilities with CATIA live rendering in live rendering, validation rendering in the R 2025X Golden Release. Let's now take a look on decision making and know what's new on decision making without CATIA product perception experience, our application to do decisions on different variants. And in the R 2025X release, we actually bring in a very interesting new capability, a compare tool, which is enabling a 2, 3, or 4 view comparison of different variants, as you can see here. And this comparison is synchronized in terms of view and also turntable activities. And now you can switch through the different versatile options directly here, and you can see the synchronized view is enabling you to make a straight decision. I will round up with just a quick also introduction on what's new for the CATIA immersive mixed reality capabilities. And for them, we have improved the performance between the 24X Golden and the 25X Golden massively. So constant improvement over all the releases of the last year. And in parallel, we have brought in HQO shadows, DLSS, ray traced reflections, and refractions in our rendering capabilities. And this is enabling very interesting new use cases, as you can see here below, by seeing live the environment reflection, the reflection of the controller, but also refractions, as you can see with the lens that is just displayed in this moment. And this is all possible inside immersive views now on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform with the 25X Gold. So all in all, very interesting new capabilities in the 25X for the different disciplines and different subjects in our area. I'm looking forward to the webinar very soon to show you more details.
Thank you, Stefan. Indeed, a very great release for V+R product experience. So now, Xavier, you mentioned 3 main elements for this new release, 25X. And what's next now for design and style?
Yeah, good point. Yes, I was mentioning that with some customer, we imagine the studio of the future, which is a reality today with the release 2025X, founded on 3 elements. The first one was the collaborative innovation, how to boost the collaboration and innovation all together. And for that, we have the wonderful 3DEXPERIENCE platform, which has reached a very high level of maturity to do so. The second one was the design workflow with a unified environment to imagine, create, and experience. And the third level is how to go to the next level of design, to imagine the next generation of products. The products are not anymore just beautiful aesthetical products in terms of shape, colors, and material, but they will become, and they are becoming, much more interactive product with the consumer. That's why moving to the experience thinking is very important. And to do so, then we had to move our user community, the designers, to the next level of design, to explore and automate, as I was explaining, and for that, using different technologies. First of all, by taking benefits of all the intelligence that you have on your product, from the specification, the parametric approach, the feature, to automate things, but also to bring that to a next level of automation with templates. So you can create templates, intelligent templates for other people, or going to the level of automation with algorithmic design, also to explore new ideas and to automate things. And on the top, you can also create new typology of design with a more scientific approach. And this is where the science meets design with a generative design, where topology optimization, simulation can inspire designer, or to combine and to merge modeling and simulation together. For example, to simulate early in the process aerodynamics, performance of your design, and the simulation is even driving your shapes. So it's also inspiring in terms of science. And last but not least, data science and artificial intelligence in many steps of the design process can be used to help designers to look at the trends on the market, or to be inspired by images, or to be much more efficient in terms of design with predictive command, predictive design, or user guidance with some agents. Or you could see it also with human to predict the motion of the human, or to do a science-based simulation, or even for rendering and real-time visualization. We use a lot artificial intelligence deep learning to accelerate and predict even the pixels on screen for rendering real-time, or even now immersive experiences with virtual reality and augmented reality. So with all that, in fact, we are bringing now the designer to the next level of automation and exploration.
All right. Thank you very much, Xavier. Thank you very much, all three of you. I'm looking forward to see these new capabilities on the CATIA and the 3D Experience platform.
And we expect a lot of customers showing us what they do with this wonderful.
We are ready.
Yes, of course. So now let's move on to the Q&A session to answer to your questions.
Hello again, everyone. Hello, Xavier, Stéphane, and François. So we are now here for this Q&A session. If you want to ask questions in the chat, it's the right time, as we have here the major experts from our CATIA R&D design team. So take advantage of this precious moment. So I have a first question. I have seen that you support mixed reality for your design process. Can you tell us more on the needed application and which HMD is required?
So I guess this is for me, Alan, to answer.
Yes.
Actually, when we launched our brand new application, Creative Design Experience, a couple of years ago, we introduced the ability for designers to quickly and easily transition from their desktop environment to the virtual reality environment, okay, to facilitate the design exploration without breaking any creative design workflow. And we have introduced the mixed reality capability to add another type of environment, immersive environment for the design process on the 25X, supporting the Varjo XR3 head-mounted display. So today you can benefit of both virtual reality mode or mixed reality mode on the 25X with this new device. And it's a very lean transition from the desktop to the immersive environment, simply by clicking on your application, then taking the mounted display and wearing it on your head. So no break in the creative design workflow. It's very important for us to facilitate the access to 3D to creative designer by mixing both in the same workflow.
Yes, that's what we presented in the video. It's the unified design workflow.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, I see another question. Any improvement on distributed Stella, and is there a detailed document? So I guess it is for you, Stéphane.
I think distributed Stella is constantly improved, especially when we come to GPU support. We will go deeper also on distributed Stella, as well as the precise rendering capabilities in the webinar that we provide to you, as I said already in my presentation. So there we will dive deeper in all of the different use and functionality. This was just a quick overview that I presented.
And I guess talking about Stella, the new render mode, Stella Interactive, is also available in the CATIA Product Perception Experience, right?
Yes, so it is available in Product Perception Experience, and it's also, as I said, across the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. And it's especially interesting when you want to set up a precise rendering review later on, or prepare it for later on. And you are in the setup process, you do the authoring, then you can use the interactive Stellar mode to already have a very high consistency with the later on precise rendering when you set it up. And that's quite convenient for everyone that is doing the authoring of a precise review later on. And it's also true, by the way, for validation rendering for a new application. You don't want to use Stellar Interactive for later validations, but you might use it for setting up the review, because there you want to have interactivity and you want to have already the maximum consistency, for instance, of the material, considering the light and so on. So meaning it's available in CATIA Live Rendering, it's available in Product Perception Experience, also validation rendering, and we really prefer it to set up and prepare and author your later review with precise rendering. That's also a use case we will explain in the webinar that is coming.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Stefan, for these explanations. Any other questions from the chat? Please, if you want to ask questions, it's now. Yes, I see another question. I think it's for you again, François. The visual scripting technology seems very powerful, and I would like to know on which release it is available.
Yeah, so indeed it is powerful. As of today, we have a lot of customers engaging in this direction for multiple use cases in various industries. We introduced this technology 2 years ago on the R2023X release, and it is so now available both on cloud and on-premise environment.
All right, thank you, François, for your answer. Maybe one or two other questions now before to end. I see another question for you, Stefan. For CATIA validation rendering, how do you ensure the brightness of the lamp is perceived correctly in an image compared to reality? So I think you mentioned the example you presented during the lab.
I think that's a very good question, and also a very educated one already. So in reality, the intensity or the reality of the rendering is also depending on how our eye is really perceiving light. And our eye sensitivity is not just perceiving the light source and the realism of the light source, but it's also the perception is depending on the contrast of between the light source and the surrounding light, the background lighting. And we have to take this in consideration, and that's actually what we enable with CATIA validation rendering. So meaning we can take in consideration the measured input of an ambience lighting of a surrounding, also the input or the parameters of the light, and also the camera sensitivity or the eye sensitivity. And all three parameters are really there to match a realistic image at the end of the day. And that's actually absolutely key for realistic rendering.
All right, thank you, Stefan. Any other questions from the chat?
Yeah, I think there is one about AI.
Yes, exactly. Do you want to answer to it, Xavier? I will say the question. AI can make decisions for better design for the company?
Yeah, that's a big question. Huh? AI doing design for the company or making decisions. In fact, it's not exactly that. AI that we introduce in our products, it's in different step of the process, and you will see coming AI in different aspects and different ways. So it's not at the end just an AI doing design or taking decision or making decision for you or instead of you. It's more helping the users in different steps. For example, we did show that AI can predict command while you're designing. So it's more an assistant to help you and not making the design replacing you. It can automate things also to accelerate things. It can also make better things, like we saw in the example of the human motion capture. So to make a more realistic motion of the human body, more precise. So it's more supporting you. And in rendering, it's predicting pixels or rendering to accelerate the process to make a rendering for you. But at the end, it's the designers who's making the decision. So on all these steps, while you're designing or using virtual human or doing rendering, it's helping you either to accelerate or automate things or to guide you. But at the end, you are making the decision. So I hope it's answering the question, because the question was pretty open and very high. But this is how we implement AI in our design workflow.
Yeah, exactly. It's enhancing capabilities of designers. Sure. I think there are no other questions for the moment. So we can close the Q&A session and this CATIA Design Talk for today. So thank you very much, Xavier, François, Stéphane, and Laurent, who was in the video, for your time and participation. And a special thanks to all of you who watched this CATIA Design Talk and joined us. We hope that you found this webinar informative and engaging, and that it inspired you with these new design possibilities and capabilities with CATIA. Before we leave you, I want you to remind this date, Tuesday, January 14th, 2025, as there will be 3 sessions during which we will dive deep into the topics presented today. It will be presented as a webinar, and the registrations will start very soon. So if you want to know more about our release, stay tuned. In the meantime, if you want to watch the replay of this talk, it's very simple. Visit our CATIA Creative Design and Styling community, whose link now appears at the bottom of your screen. You will be able to access the replay, but also all the information you need about CATIA, including our tutorial and best practices, and you can ask the R&D team your questions. So if you haven't joined yet, just create an account with an email address and the password and log in. We appreciate your participation and your feedback, and we look forward to seeing you again at our next CATIA Design Talk and at our webinar. Until then, have a great day and keep innovating with CATIA. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.